are you fixing it right now? Are you yourself gonna fix that camera? That'd be crazy.
Well, I mean, I don't really know what's wrong with the camera. The screen broke, so I replaced the screen, but it never went on right. So it broke again because like it wasn't tight up against it. So if you touch it, it just cracks. So I'm just without a screen. I don't really care. Just the glass part, not the actual.
Dude, props to you for trying, man. Props to you for trying. Hey, first off, just congratulations, man. Like, congratulations, season 3, boom, killed it.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a crazy season. It gets really intense.
Yeah, and dude, I was gonna bring this up to you. Do you think there's a little bit of a similarity between JJ and Jonah?
I was actually thinking the same exact thing. I do like on an outward appearance they seem kind of different because like JJ is very obviously tough. Like he because his background with his dad and stuff, he's sort of been pushed in that direction. But like Jonah is more inwardly tough, I think. Like he's been through a lot, but he's still standing up and I don't know. Also, they both have like a thing with guns, and
that's the one I was gonna say. I was like, they both have a thing with guns. Like, you know, the guy gives you the gun, and he's like, "Shoot all 3, I dare you," and you're like, "All right." Oh no, he says, "Shoot 1," and then you're like, "I mean, I'll shoot all 3." And then like, that scene just gave me the vibes of me shooting that teddy bear, and I was like, "Yeah, that's similar."
Yeah, that was dark, man.
There seems to be a little recurring theme here. But bro, the scene that got me, and I just got to congratulate on you, was when you start threatening Helen, and you're like, "Why'd you do this?" You're like, miniature Bruce Wayne with a shotgun, like, "Why did you do this? Shut up! You're full of crap." And I was like, "Hell yeah, get in it, Jonah." Hell
yeah, I don't think JJ or Jonah have a problem with shooting their way.
Threatening.
Have a problem.
Yeah, threatening. We don't have a problem with threatening for sure.
Yeah.
And close calls and pointing guns at people. I don't think we have a problem with that.
Not at all. Also, they also both have like a little bit of an absent parental kind of guidance. Obviously JJ does, but
yeah, they have some parent issues for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, and then like Jonah's just kind of ignore it at this point because they just have way too much going on. They're so over their heads, and
yeah,
Jonah's like kind of trying to be normal. I mean, he was never normal, but kind of trying, but he just can't because there's no normalcy there. Right.
And actually, something I want to say on live is I think we have a similar story arc coming up in the upcoming seasons because it's both of our storylines seem to be getting pretty dark, and we're gonna
for sure after season 3.
It's gonna be fun, and I'm curious to see how you want to like go around portraying that. Like, I'm curious to think of like seeing how you get into headspace with Jonah and wondering if that's similar to how I get in the headspace with JJ. But some actors like keeping that private though, so I totally respect that. Although also,
well, I don't know, I'm not too private there. I mean, I just need to see what these writers are going to come up with because I have a feeling it's going to go somewhere a little bit darker, but you don't really, I don't know exactly what direction.
Right.
Go.
What do you want it to do? Like, where do you want to go with it?
I mean, he could either take down the cartel or become the cartel.
Right.
Or he could just go off completely on his own. I feel like either way.
How old is Jonah? How old is Jonah again?
I think he's younger than me. I think 14 was the last season. They never really like specified in the script, but around 14.
That'd be pretty pimpin' at 14. Yeah. But how you been out? How have you hanging with quarantine, man?
Quarantine. Yeah, I mean, I've been good. We've been minimally affected by the virus. Fortunately, like I'm in New York, but we're like an hour north of the city, so we're not in the hub of it. We're sort of safe back here, just playing low. Imagine you're doing the same thing. How's it there?
It's interesting. It's interesting because Los Angeles just opened up their beaches, and I'm like, I don't think that's the smartest idea. And I think, like, I mean, if you go to the beach, obviously everyone's going to take the precautions and should still take it very seriously because that's where that's where the most people are going to be. And
yeah, but there's always a few people who just don't.
Yeah, I've decided I'm not going to go out there and, I mean, go out to the beach. Well, a public beach like Santa Monica and stuff like that. I decided not to do that. But, you know, I think everybody that is deciding to is going to take it very seriously still if they go out to there. But who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I mean, birthdays during quarantine are always interesting. They don't have to be bad, but like, how did it go?
But on Zoom with a whole bunch of people. That was pretty cool. And then I don't know what else have we had. We've had my parents had an anniversary. I had a birthday. I feel like there was something else. I don't know, but we've just been going nonstop. But it's been cool. Like we set up our dining room as like a party room, an all-purpose party room, because just to avoid a little bit of work.
Dude, everybody should have a party room. Everybody that's watching right now, make a party room. No matter where it is. Make it the bathroom if you need to be. Make it the wherever you need to do.
Anything goes at this point.
Yeah,
no one's gonna be coming over to see it.
No, yeah. But yeah, man. Oh, so we talked the other day, yesterday, and I wanted to bring up being homeschooled because that is something we share. We were both homeschooled, or at least you probably. How many grades were you homeschooled? If not,
I'm still homeschooled. I'm homeschooled all the way through.
Wow, that's super neat. And props to your mom, right?
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And you said you did it through what grade?
I did it through second up to fifth grade or fourth grade.
Okay.
Fourth grade. That is.
Oh, okay.
And I'm curious, how do you what are the pros and cons that you enjoy about being homeschooled?
Well, I mean, obviously being in the business, being homeschooled provides a very necessary amount of flexibility.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't, I guess I would just have to do everything online. I don't really know how I would work that out if I wasn't homeschooled. But I mean, I've been homeschooled since before that. That was just something that we were always going to do. But yeah, flexibility, and I think it's really important because it gives you the ability to know how to be self-motivated.
Very.
Whereas like when you're in public school, you're sort of being fed everything, and you don't have to figure stuff out yourself as much. And I think it's a really good life skill.
Yeah.
So,
no, to be self-determined and honestly, what I learned in my homeschool experience was I needed to enjoy being alone. Like I needed to enjoy myself. And actually, the second year of my homeschool education, my little brother also was homeschooled. So my mom would have to switch off of which one she was teaching throughout the day. Is that something you guys had to do as well?
Yeah.
Is that something you guys had to do as well?
Yeah, because I have two older sisters, and there was a point where we would all be having to be a lot of work though.
No, it's crazy amount of work. I don't know how my mother was able to contain my craziness and my little brother's craziness, and then keep us in a textbook, which actually I think was kind of the challenge. I think for my mom was to be able to really know how to get my attention, because my attention is something I've always I don't know if I'm ADHD or what, but I've always been able to find something else to think about when I'm supposed to be focusing on and I think acting actually helps me ground myself.
Because you have to think about one thing. You have to focus.
Yeah, you get hyper focused on half your brain's thinking about the text and what's coming up, and then the other half of your brain is trying to be present and listening to the person that you're doing a scene with. And so there's just all those things that I think I was just kind of primed to do. And actually props to my mom for, I think, being able to tap into, oh, Rudy has to be thinking about something else, but having it tied to the lesson, whatever she was teaching. For example, I'm dyslexic, or I was, and I think am dyslexic. But she would take flashcards with words, and I would have to spell them, and she would hold them up, and I'd have to say the word and then spell it with my eyes closed. But she would call them like certain like levels by like medieval rankings. So like one would be a squire, one would be a knight, one would be a king, and like that like preoccupied my brain. It's like it's a king word. It's gonna be hard, and that being homeschooled was, I think, amazing that my mom found that out.
Yeah, that's the other great thing about homeschooling. You can just be specific to the student. So like whether you have trouble with certain things, you can hold them back and take the time to actually master it. Or if you are really naturally good at something, then you can push ahead without being held back. So that's really useful too.
Yeah. I still struggle with it. I still do. Like, and I think that's why I continue to try to read as much as I can, because like I know I'm not the best at it. Like it's like if I'm still struggling with it, I still need to work on it. And I think that's also something that homeschool taught me. It's like you're not gonna get better if you don't keep pushing yourself in that subject. And my mom she like slammed that into me. It was just like, hey, there's two ways of going around this. If something scares you and you're not as good at it, you're gonna either run away from it or you're gonna take it head on. And my mom always, props to her again for just being like, yo, you're gonna have to face it and just
same. That's really important.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, homeschooling also though, it gives you the ability to focus on some things that you're actually interested in too. Like I've always had a little bit more of a interest in some technical things like 3D printers, and like I've always wanted to be an inventor. So I don't know, one day I might go to college for engineering or something. We'll see how that goes. But
there we go. There you go.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting with acting going on. I don't know, but
dude, yeah, you're just a Renaissance man. You got to get all your bases covered. What kind of engineer?
Probably I would go for mechanical engineering.
Mechanical.
Yeah, because that encompasses a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, no, mechanical is really cool. I think my brother's going into electrical right now.
Okay, cool.
So even though I think he wants to be mechanical, so it's so fast. It's like it's engineering, but it's not the same thing clearly. But yeah, man, like I'm trying to figure that out right now. Exactly, it's like acting. You know, you got to be able to play certain characters that are very not like thinking about acting as a career path. You know, so in order to do that correctly, sometimes you need to be really open to the idea that you got to learn other things and like go and get an education. And I've been considering like going to you know, some community colleges or maybe some online courses just to get an education about something that is something I might need to, not only for acting, but like also just to like expand my horizons on other subjects that I think are very interesting. Like I think
acting is you never know what's going to happen with it. You can get lucky, you can do really well, or it can just stop one day. You don't really know. So it's good to have options open.
Right. And I totally agree with you on that one. But like now, this is the con of being homeschooled. I think there was a certain social interaction that I never quite learned of. Like when everybody's in a group, you need to take part. You need to take part and engage. And there's sometimes I think when I was homeschooled that I never learned the trait of how to engage in a social group. Like whenever I'm in a social group, sometimes I'm like looking around, I'm like, yeah, I think I know what to say now. Like it's kind of almost, there's like a pattern. Like this person speaks, then it's him, then it's her, then it's him again, and then it's going to be my turn at some point. And that's how my brain works at times. Like, when can I engage, and do I engage? And like I think when I went back to school, my solution was just like, I'll wait until they want me to engage, or like, because I don't want to just step on anybody in the conversation. So that was, I think, a major con for me, is like not knowing exactly when to engage socially.
Yeah, homeschooling is great in a lot of ways, but the one thing is you can tend to overthink things like that, where you just have to just jump in when it's natural, you know. But it's obviously harder than it sounds, because if you don't, you end up overthinking it anyway. Yeah, I can definitely relate with that.
Yeah, yeah, man. And another con, uh, school dances. I never really. I think I went to two school dances in high school, two or three. Three, because I went to prom. Yeah, I went to prom. Yeah, so in total about three dances, and everyone was like, "Rudy, you going to the dance?" I was like, "No, they freak me out."
Yeah,
So that was
yeah.
a con for sure. Uh, yeah, man, homeschool is a was a wild ride. Did your mom ever make themes for like the year?
That's it for the year. Not usually for the year, but we've had some sort of themes to just like from day to day to make things interesting. Like when I was younger, specifically, like we'd have a like a hat day or something, and everyone would wear hats to school.
Uh,
And yeah, it was fun though, because I had my siblings, and we would try and do it together, and we could help each other along. And yeah, we used the what is now the party room for homeschooling. But now that we're older, I tend to just do a lot of stuff online in my room.
uh No,
So,
yeah, that's pretty cool. My mom
but
was
yeah,
a
it opened up a room for parties, so that's great.
party room back, circle back, go party room. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you sharing the homeschool experience with me, because that was definitely a pivotal point in my life. Um, but yo, I don't really know exactly. Did it? I don't even know exactly how long we were supposed to be on and talking, but I could talk to you forever,
No
man.
idea.
I could
Yeah, this is
keep
my
going.
first time doing this, so I have
Yeah,
no idea.
but like, hey, thank you so much for coming on, and I actually want to do it again if you're down.
Hey, yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah, and we can like, I'll message you and talk about what we want to talk about next, and like, I think that would be awesome if I could bring you back on.
Yeah, I think there's lots more we could cover.